We are playing Wrath, Eon of the Urine, Ruin. But is it any good though? Well, it's another retro shooter, but not just some pretender. No. It's a real deal, guys. It's a game from the likes of Doom, Unreal, Blood, Duke 3D, and Quake, especially Quake. It even uses the same engine. And when I saw the gameplay footage, the first thing that was going through my head was, whoa, could this be it? Finally another game like the original Quake? Because I was quite disappointed that they dropped the Lovecraftian style completely in the sequels, and I'm craving for another Quake 1 till this day. So, could this be a worthy spiritual successor to the original? Well, let's start with the weapons. The gunplay is fine, the weapons feel good, and they're all got a secondary fire mode, which however hasn't been thought out that well. The shotgun, for example, has this reload animation, which has to finish first before you can change the weapon, which is annoying, considering that it's powerful, alright, but not powerful enough to justify stopping the flow after every shot. Also, the secondary fire is just useless. You have to hold the right mouse button to charge up for a super shot, but it never comes in handy, and that's because it simply doesn't fit this fast and dynamic gameplay. It's bullshit, and it lacks creativity where it shouldn't. Guys, you remember the enemies from Quake? They were some real nasty bastards, but since they had different strengths and weaknesses, and quite diverse attack patterns, they were really interesting to fight. Well, here the enemies sound and look good, but they are just boring. You got your zombies, your shooter guys, the floating beasts, and a tank, but neither of those need a special strategy to be taken down. Every weapon does the job as good. Yeah. You give them a little of these, you give them a little of those, and they all drop. They drop like a sack of shit. The gore's great, but it gets old far quicker than a well thought out attack pattern or a strength and weakness system would. Also, their AI is shit. I know it's just a beater, but it's also still awkward to look at. Yeah, the levels in Quake were mostly complex structures as well, but much more interesting and memorable. Let's take the snowy graveyard thing from Wrath for example. It's just a dull level with nothing memorable whatsoever. And there's no clever enemy placement either. It's just one ambush after the next, where enemies pop out of thin air, and it's just lazy. Yeah, the music is brilliant, because it fits the dull and boring levels perfectly. No, seriously, I played the game one day ago and I can't remember a single track. It doesn't come even close to the amazing Nine Inch Nails soundtrack from the original Quake. Again, I hope they improve here as well. And do you wanna know what I also hope? That they dump the fucking save system? Oh yeah, Rat uses save items as the main means to save your progress. I mean, remember in Quake or in Blood when you needed to set aside some save items for the level boss? I mean, wanna know what this awesome system leads to? You will save as last as possible because you don't know when you get another save item. But games like Quake were unpredictable. There could be a real brutal encounter every corner. So what do you do as a developer? You tone down the difficulty. Yes, I played Wrath on the hardest difficulty, and as long as you don't play like a complete retard or a game journalist, it's an absolute piss. You also get some bonus items, which for example give you energy back from slain enemies, and you wanna know how you use them? You press the middle mouse button and the time slows down so no one can hurt you. Then you pick your item from a bar, and it's it's almost like the infamous weapon wheel from a console game. You know, there was a time when it was just enough to bind every item you needed to a certain key, and yeah, that was all a proper gamer needed back then. And I know this sounds nitpicky, but if you market your game as old school, I expect old school. And no kiddie console mechanics. So, overall, guys, it's a mix. It's a mix of unfinished just and just being not enough. Yeah. And I know it's indie, and I do commend them for going old school rather than catering to the mainstream, but it just has to be said. I hope that the developers see this and take at least some of my critique into consideration. This could still be a new Quake, and I still see potential. The developers just need to be more creative and a bit more ambitious, to be honest. Thanks for listening.